Studio 814 is paid for by Bricktown Kickin' Chicken.
Welcome back. We are so excited. We've got Sue Griep from United We Can. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we also have Alysa Bainbridge, who you've probably seen on your social media feeds because this is former Miss Pennsylvania 2022. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
You have a busy day slated, so we made sure we put you early in the show because your big luncheon talk is happening at the casino at Lakemont, right, Sue?
That's right, at noon.
Sue, for people that aren't quite familiar with your luncheon series, can you tell us what it's all about?
Well, we like to think of it as a mindset. We're changing mindsets. We want people to be inspired, passionate, and go after their dreams. And we want them to realize that it takes hard work.
Yes.
You know, that it might be 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but we want them to go out and pursue their dreams.
We have some photos of previous guests. I am in awe. You're telling me you've had folks from NASA, different individuals. Right now we actually have some photos also of Miss Pennsylvania, Alysa. Alysa, tell us what that whole year was like for you.
It was quite literally a dream come true. I wanted to be Miss Pennsylvania since I was 9 years old. I met her at a local parade and really worked toward that my whole life. But it didn't happen for me in one day, and that's really a big topic in my talk today, is letting the kids know that success doesn't just happen. You know, they look at things and they assume that things come easy to people, but the reality is that I had to try 4 times, and it took several years before I achieved that dream, and some failures and setbacks along the way, but I didn't give up, and I kept fighting. I used those times where I didn't become Miss Pennsylvania to just be better and be the best version of Miss Pennsylvania when that time did come.
Yes, and there's also smiles, also during some sadness. Tell me a little bit about your brother, Tyler, and the organization that you created in his memory.
Sure. So my brother Tyler battled with opioid addiction for 6 years, and unfortunately we did lose him to an overdose in 2018 when he was 24 years old, which was the most tragic thing that's ever happened to me. But my family and I have always been ones to try to make something positive out of something so tragic. And so we came together, my family and I, and we started a nonprofit organization called Tyler's Triumph. And what we do is we provide financial assistance and other support to people in recovery from mental health and substance use disorders. And we also go around to schools and community groups, and we educate about mental health and help people get intervention early enough.
Now, is that a nationally recognized program, or is it mainly for Pennsylvania?
Yeah, right now we're just in Pennsylvania. Goal is to go national eventually, but yeah, right now in Pennsylvania, and being Miss Pennsylvania certainly allowed me to have a little bit more of that footprint last year, so I'm very grateful.
And Alysa, that is actually what your talk is called today. It's more than a story of turning tragedy into triumph. So we do know a lot of viewers, they're getting ready to actually go watch you. But for maybe people who didn't get the chance to get a ticket, can you share just a little bit more about, you know, your message and what you'll be sharing today at noon?
Sure. So my big message, a part of my platform when I was Miss Pennsylvania, was this thing called the More Than Project. And the goal is really just to make sure people have someone in their lives letting them know that they are more than their struggle, more than their mental illness. My brother told me on more than one occasion that he felt so defined by his addiction and so unworthy of recovery, and he was no more than his addiction. And I wish I would have been the one for him more often in his life to tell him that he was more than that. There's been times in my own life where I needed someone to be that person and tell me I'm more than whatever struggle I'm going through. So that is my overarching message today, is despite the setbacks and even, you know, the dark and the ugly that we face in life, there is hope, and remember that you are so much more than whatever that is that you're going through or struggling with.
I know, and I can only imagine your brother looking down on you, seeing everything that you've accomplished over your past year as Miss PA. So that is just wonderful. Now, Sue, back to the luncheon series, because this is your 6th season.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more. Now we do have those photos of some of the people that have been here in the 814 telling their stories, and there you are.
It's just been amazing for me to see the people that have come in and told their stories. So I'm looking at Tiffany Russo, I'm looking at the director of NASA, we have a pro basketball player, Tyra Smith, we had a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, we've had contestants on Shark Tank, Biggest Loser and The Voice, We've had the Penn State men and women's basketball coaches, Pat Chambers and Kokesh Washington. 2 weeks ago, we had Steeler great Rocky Blyer. So we've been, that's Rocco Scalzi, who has the Beating the Odds Foundation. So we've just been really blessed with people that have come in and shared their stories of resilience.
Sue, you must have quite the pull to be bringing these people to Central Pennsylvania.
Well, we work a lot on connections, and these people are connected to our program one way or the other.
Yeah, and it is all about inspiring. So for these luncheons, this is a time to kind of forget all your problems and to focus on hope and the future and to bettering your lives.
Well, my goodness, we've had students come up and say, you know, we pass people on the street, we read about them in the paper, and we just think things come so easy, and we didn't realize that they're failures, and failures make you strong. And you know, so we had a lot of people too that have come up to me and said, I've always wanted to square dance, I've always wanted to scuba dive, I've always wanted to take art lessons, I've wanted to take singing lessons, I've wanted to travel across the country, and I'm not a big driver. And so, you know, this inspiration has, you know, pushed people to go outside their comfort zones.
I love that so much. Sue, tell me a little bit more about, because you've got this amazing Facebook group about the Blair County Sisterhood. Is that kind of where this United We Can came together?
Yes, we started as Blair County United Sisterhood, and we've moved into United We Can because men had come up to me and said, we need Inspired as well. So we changed the name to United We Can, and we continue with that because together, United We Can. You know, we can do great things. You know, by hearing people's stories.
Oh, that's what we say all the time, and we are all about, you know, the community, and that's really what people need is to know that they're not alone. And I think, Alysa, that's what Tyler's Triumph is all about.
Exactly.
And I also loved when Sue was talking about, you know, those failures. And you even sharing yourself that you tried 4 times and you didn't make it. So when you had those moments where, you know, you came close, but you might not have actually won, how did you feel, Alysa? Were you thinking, oh, I don't want to try anymore? Or what was those emotions like?
Yeah, of course, at first, you know, you're really down on yourself. You feel like you're not good enough. You nitpick everything you did, wondering what you could have done different. But the reality was that it just wasn't my time. And so when it finally did happen for me, I felt like I was at the perfect place in my life, and I was glad I hadn't won all those other times, because when I finally did achieve that dream, it was as the best version of myself. So I've always been one to take failure and grow from it and use it, you know, as a fire under me, just to do better and be better and not remain the same. And
such a positive spin. I love it. If people are interested in learning more about Tyler's Triumph, what's the best way to do that?
Yes, so they can go to tylerstriumph.org or follow us on social media. We are at Tyler's Triumph on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Unfortunately, your luncheon is sold out, so that's why it was wonderful that we gave a little preview. But who's on deck coming up, Sue?
We have retired State Trooper Tim Strohmeyer in 2 weeks, which is October 19th, so we're taking reservations. It's $11 for a speaker and meal, and you can go to United We Can, Blair County United Sisterhood, and make reservations.
That is wonderful. And of course, we will have those details over on our website and our Facebook page. Alysa Bainbridge and Sue Grape. So great seeing you. And we know you already have a very busy day, jam-packed in the 814, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you.
We've got a lot more still to come, including